All right, so here's what I got going today. I'm putting in a little bit of a sewer service for another. This is a restaurant that's going in, and they're revamping this building to put a Chinese restaurant in here. So I am going to. They gotta have another drain inside. So we ended up just stubbing it out. The builder just ended up stubbing it out the side of the building, and now I've got to tie it into the main line for them. So I've dug down to the main line here already, as you can see. Actually, there's two sewer services coming out of this building, but this is the one we're tying into. So I'm going to tie in right here and run up through here to where the excavator is, and the builder's already got the 2-inch stubbed out right there. So I'm going to tie onto that, put a clean out, run down here, and then tie into that. And there's a water service coming from the meters out there by the road. Water service coming through here that I've got to keep an eye on. So that's what I'm doing at the moment. We'll put it on 3.3%. We'll start down there at that other end and work our way this way, and that ought to bring us out right here on this elevation, or close to it. 3.33. And that is going to be positive grade. Messed that up, didn't I? All right, we'll let that thing get set to that, and then we'll go from there. Not spinning yet. There it goes. All right, I'm at 7'3". 3.5 onto that would be 7'6.5" would be bottom of pipe. See how close to the grade we are right here. Five-eighths high. We'll be in good shape there. 7'6.5" be bottom of pipe. I'm going to mark my stick. I'm going to allow a couple of inches of gravel. So we need to be shooting 7 foot 8 inches all the way up through there. All right. I'll get you guys moved to the other end because I'm going to dig from that way and come this way. Get you moved to the other end, and then we'll get going. All right, I like that. I need some chips in there now, I think. Go ahead and get this clean out stubbed up here. And then I'll run out to the shop and pick up the skid steer, get the tracer wire to put on this, I think. I'll put it about right there. About 10.5 inches. That's what I need, I think. All right, that was the last joint right there. I like it when a plan comes together. All right, I'm gonna get my tools picked up. That way I can run out there and get the skid steer. All right, find the end of this thing, if I can get it started. There we go. Falling down, maybe. I like to try to tape that every 5 foot or so. And down here on the end, see if these junker pliers will cut this. Oh yeah, like it was meant to be. I like to try to skin just a little bit of the sheathing off at this end, just so it has good ground contact. That way when you hook the locator onto that other end, it gets good return. I don't know if it's necessary or not. That's just the way I like to do it. I'll stick that right down in the ground like that. Throw a piece of tape on it and we'll be good to go. Beautiful. All right, I'll go see if I can scrounge up some gravel to put on this. We'll be on the right track. I'm gonna have to turn some heat on this thing. Get cold. around it. All right, I like it. Think I will get on the excavator and pull a bunch of that in there, put the dirt in there, get the skid steer out of the way. Need a bigger bucket on for this. Try to sort some of them bigger rocks out as I can as I go here. Alright, I'm gonna turn around here and see if I can get up there and track some of that down. really don't want to put them big rocks back in there. Kick them things off to the side here. Got you in the cab now. Trying to get as much of this dirt down in the trench as possible before I spread that gravel over it. I'd like to get some more of that hole filled in down there at the end with dirt before I put any rock on it, if I can. There's talk about them eventually putting a drive-through back here. It's going to need a lot of work to make that happen though. This hump all cut off and that chunk of concrete out. Or that's my opinion anyway. They may have a different idea. All right, I think we're ready to put this gravel over this the best we can. Where that rock come from? All right, I think I'm gonna call that good enough for now. Touch it up Monday with the skid steer. All right, I got this drain line knocked out today and a couple clean outs put in here at this place. We'll come back Monday. I got to dig a electric line trench for some conduit for the sign that they're putting out by the road, and then I'll finish cleaning up these rocks and stuff. But I think it turned out fairly well considering how tight a spot it was, and and everything. So I got that little old pile of rocks there that I'll have to deal with, and then yeah, it turned out pretty nice. I believe it should work for what they wanted. Got my clean out sticking up there, and tracer wire sticking up, that way a guy can hook onto it and locate it later. We had a heck of a time finding the sewer lines coming out of this building. It's been quite the challenge to know where to tie in and what to do. There wasn't anybody that knew where anything was at, so it was kind of a trial and error. Just hunting find is what we ended up doing. So anyway, that we'll be back Monday. All right, back at the Chinese restaurant today. Going to use the excavator, or attempt to use the excavator to lift the hood fans up onto the roof. We got to set them two fans that are right there up on the roof where these gutters are coming through. So I think I'm going to try to obviously avoid power lines, and I think I can track right up here and be able to pick them up and then lift that up and over like that with the, I got the the forks on the tilt rotator. So I'm going to attempt to do that here in a little bit, and we'll see how that all works. I think that's going to work.
Really get that, you know.
That one goes, it goes on the east, right?
Yep.
And it sets just like that, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna try and just.
And oh, it rotates off.
Yep.
So I need to be right on the north side.
Preferably. I mean, if you can't,
okay,
it's fine. But I mean, you get it wherever, we'll maneuver it around. But that'd be the easiest for us to just roll it, basically.
Okay.
Rotate it down on it. But whatever you gotta do to get it up there, we'll maneuver it from there. All right, nice doing on my back. You got that. Woo!
If my fork spacing is close.
What they're going to want you to do, Brad, if you can, is set this side of the pallet.
Yeah, on the north side.
Yeah, and then they're just going to lay that.
Rotate it down. Yep. You want to pull your truck up? What do you mean? This way? Tilt down on that side? You like it there? Or you want me to get closer?
Get stuck in there.
You know, I got one of them up there, Harv.
You get up there and help them,
I think they can handle it, hopefully.
they can't, they're fired.
All right, second one.
There you go.
A little bit more, Brett.
Come on back.
Yeah,
He said, come on back. Hey!
a little bit more. Yeah, let's try that. Yeah. Good? Lovely.